Okay. I'm a little early, so I'm just doing some loosening up. I'm not going to start a lesson until the chat populates somewhat. Now, my website is under some sort of construction right now, and we're adding a lot of different things. Coming soon, you will be able to purchase all of Hudson Music products from my site. You will also Alfred Drum books, my own books, Hal Leonard books. Okay, some instructional videos, and my agenda now, and it depends on the some of the members. We're going to talk to them about it. I do 8 lessons a week, and 2 of those lessons I would like to do on a drum pad. What 2 days, I don't know. All right, I know like today I wanted to do a review on the drum set from what we did all week, but I think I'm going to leave the drum pad either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I stream 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 1 p.m. lessons are on this location. The 7 p.m. lessons are on mattpatellalivelessons.com. Now, everybody is welcome to view the lessons, get in the chat, ask questions, tell me if you learned anything or I suck or whatever it might be. Make new friends in the chat. Have a good time. We have some up and coming events. We're going to have Mike Clark eventually will be doing a live lesson, and we're going to be working from his book. I've invited Jeffrey Johnson. He accepted. That's the author of the level system. I have Alan Herman again coming. We're going to do a hand technique on the drum pad. We have Steve Forrester and Alan will be doing a lesson together. And we have a couple books from, I think it's Barry James. He's from Florida, and he studied with George Lawrence Stone and Joe Morello. So we're going to talk about things like that and work on some hand technique. And more, I have Carl Latham and a few other guys like Tim Herman. Tim Herman did a show, Tuning Drums, okay? And some great information. All the drummers go to him. He's the go-to man when they want to learn how to really tune or get a certain tune, a certain sound out of their drum. So there's a lot of nice things coming. I'm revamping my whole site. I'm determined to have these lessons work, which they're working, but I want to develop a bigger following, which I'm going to. So today we're on a drum pad. Hello, Randy. I'm somewhat early, but that's okay. Now, did you get the PDFs? That's one sheet today. Some Diddles R Us, Diddle Fun. I got this actually from Charlie Wilcox in the Rudimental Swing. It's a good journey into understanding the level system. I always emphasize the level system because it's a natural way to play. Okay? Like last night, what we did, well, it was a pretty long lesson last night, don't you think, guys? And what we did was we kind of like did eighth notes and eighth note triplets. We didn't hit on the 16ths as accent development from the stick control book. Now, for those who have not been there yesterday, what I do, and I've come up with this as an interpretation of stick control book. It's the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone that I really, really enjoy. Okay? using the stick control book maybe 5,000 different ways, and using the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. For example, if I took line 1 and on page 5, line 1, it's just an alternating stroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and simple. Now, what I do is I eliminate the lefts and just play the rights. 3, 4. But I'm not going to play I'm not going to play the rights. I'm going to interpret the rights from the line. If I'm playing eighth notes, I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, that's going to remain the same throughout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. Okay? Now, I look at the line, I say, all right, let me eliminate the lefts, and that means I'm going to play just the rights. The rights I'm going to interpret from the page, just the rights. So the rights fall on 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going on. So therefore, my action is going to be on 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 1, 2, nice and easy. Bop, ba, jinkity, bop. I forgot to mention Rick Latham. Rick Latham is going to do a clinic when he comes to the East Coast, and same thing with David Garibaldi. And once in a while, Dave Stanek, the author of Mastering the Tables of Time, is going to do a clinic. That should be a very interesting clinic. David is an excellent musician. Now, that's how I interpret the rights. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do it for, I don't know, maybe a minute. Then I'll go to the left hand. The same interpretation. The only thing that's going to change is the left hand, playing the vamp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and now. I'm going to accent 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, you do it to the right side, you do it to the left side. This is stuff that we went over yesterday. And I'm just doing it to get back to where we left off. We did the eighth note triplet. We extended the vamping pattern 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. And now I go back to the stick control book and I say, okay, line 1. Instead of interpreting the line 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to interpret it as 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're swinging the line. All right, now, what I do now, again, is eliminate the lefts. So the first line is telling me the rights are falling on a downbeat. So instead of playing the eighth notes now, we're playing the triplets. 1, 2, and the rights fall on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 measures. Left hand, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. All right, that's the right hand. Then we go to the second line. The right now shifts. Instead of 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and, it shifts over to the da rather, of the triplet. 1 and da. Okay, so I have 1 and da, 2 and da, 3 and da, 4 and da, 2 and da, 4 and da, 1 and da, 2 and da, 3 and da, 4 and da, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now I'm not going to do the whole page. We left off there with the triplets. I did maybe 5 or 6 or 7 lines. And they're really, really good because it really puts you in tune. You're loosening up. You're developing 2 different sounds here, a non-accent and an accent. Okay? Either with the right or the left. Now, the one thing we didn't cover was the 16th notes. Now, I interpret the first line of stick control book, instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm interpreting 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, E and a. That's the line. And now I eliminate the lefts. That leaves me 1 E and all the rights, 3 E and 4 E and okay? Now this is with the eighth notes too. I mean, this is actually doubling the time. All right, so now I'm having 16ths here. 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4. Now I have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2 E and 3 E and again. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1. It's left hand. 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3, so on and so forth. Now you can practice these in any form that you'd like. You could do line 1 for 3 minutes with the right hand, line 1 3 minutes with the left hand, or you could play one measure with the right hand, one measure with the left hand. If your left hand is the weaker hand, which it usually is if you're right-handed, I would do a 4-measure increment. 1 measure with the right, 3 measures with the left. For example, if I did line 1, I'm going to go like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4 E and why does it keep moving like that? Ouch. Oh, come on, left hand, get better. I will do this. I'm going to play without the accents, just part of my left hand for today. I'm going to do 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Now the left hand. 1 E and without the accent. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2. Let me try it. E and 4 E and 2, 3 E and 4 E and 2, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and back. Now I did 1 measure right side, 1 measure left, 3 measures left side. Hello, Pierre. Okay, now that should, I mean, you could take this to the syncopation book or any other book that you're going to read, eighth notes, eighth note rest, dotted eighth notes, the ties, the quarter notes, and so on, and take a line and use that as an exercise. Okay, now I'm going to give you some really tough reading come next week, and it'll put reading on your map, your directions, or in your GPS or whatever you want to call it. It's from the Ralph C. Pace book. Now, I was introduced to Ralph C. Pace book maybe, 40, maybe 45 years ago. I had made friends with Ralph C. Pace. He was originally from Long Island, and he was the inventor of the Ralph C. Pace practice pad set way back then. And he had a son who was a drummer, Ralph C. Pace Jr. Now, Ralph C. Pace Sr. passed on, and the book was left, or the rights to the book was left to his son, Ralph C. Pace Jr. Ralph C. Pace Jr. was here, and we discussed his book. He's coming back, okay, because the book is not published anymore. And we're going to see if we could come to terms with republishing the book as is, okay? He will come and he will do a live lesson. And Ralph C. Pace Jr. is a fine, fine musician. You can't say thank you to his dad because it took him a lot of hard work to thank his dad for the direction. But I'm going to give you some very difficult reading from that. And that will put you in tune with no matter what you come across, you will read. Okay? Now, I takes the syncopation book, the Ralph C. Pace book, and eliminating the lefts, interpreting the rights. It's like reading, or reverse it. Interpret just the lefts and play eliminate the rights and play the lefts. You know, it works in both different ways. Now, I did throw out a PDF, and it's what, 6 lines? And I just goofing around with it, and it's called Diddles Are Us. I don't know what to call it. Diddlemania, Diddleville, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I got this from Charlie Wilcoxon, Rudimental Swing. It's really, really a good exercise. And it has to do with the levels. It's not has to do with the speed. If you put the levels in place, okay, if you put the levels in place, the thing runs smoothly without any effort whatsoever. So the first line of the PDF is just a single paradiddle. The counting system I'm using is 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and the sticking is just a normal paradiddle. I refer to it as an alternating paradiddle because you have right, left, right, right. The next one starts with left, right, left, left. So therefore, I can safely assume that it's a right-hand paradiddle, that it's a left-hand paradiddle. So I took the liberty to say it's an alternating paradiddle. Like they, alternating 5-stroke rolls. Okay? All right. Now, no matter what you play, and no matter how you play it, the levels should be there. If they're not, you're going to have a problem. Getting speed, getting clean, and developing a sound, a good sound. So I look at the first line, and it has the 16ths, a line of 16th notes. And I see an accent on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and no other accents. So that's telling me there's 2 different sounds. There's an accented note and a non-accented note. Now, nobody should be doing an exercise like this if they want to be the fastest drummer in the world, which is totally ridiculous. You want to be the most relaxed, the clean, the groove, and all that shit. That's what you want. So here's what I recommend you do. Understand what's occurring. I look at it and I say, all right, my right's an accent, so I need to start here. Okay, if you're not familiar with the levels, get familiar with them. I'm going to do a few videos on the level system. Now the right hand's here because my first stroke is a right hand accent. I look at my next stroke, it's a left hand, but it's a non-accent. So I have to stroke it from here. So now, the first movement would be downstroke, upstroke, tap, tap. Now look, I'm in position to now nail the up and coming accent on the 2. Down again, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. Now, yeah, I look like a mechanic. I look very mechanical. I look very regimented. So what? That's not how I perform, but that is how I play. That is what's occurring when you played that line. Okay? I broke it down to ground 0. Listen to the sound. Accent and unaccented notes. That's what's occurring. Once you feel that, you put it into some sort of tempo. Whatever you feel good with. Let's start off really slow because actually, the slower you play something, I don't know how slow this is going to be. Let's try 50. That's slow. The slower you play something, the more control you need, the more focus you need. And what that's going to do to you is it's going to make you stronger. It's going to reinforce what's natural. I do get that comment, well, if it's natural, why do you have to practice it? Come on, guys. I mean, be realistic. Let's be a mature adult here. Common sense. That's my tempo. That's the pulse. 1E and 2E and 3E and boom. Now, that's at 50. That's not very fast, but I controlled it. At 50, I stayed in the tempo. I made sure I nailed the accent on the first stroke. And the next 3 up-and-coming strokes were non-accents. And I played it at 50. Now, you could do it at 50, and it's slow because, you know, you're developing concentration. And by doing it that slow, you could adjust. If your left hand upstroke is a little too loud, or your 2 taps are different, you can make that adjustment. And that's the journey of practicing, not performing. Do we understand that, gentlemen? What's this here, Jimmy? Well, you know, let's talk about that. The response there is everything we play on a drum pad could be played on a drum set. Absolutely. All right, now let's have a little discussion before we go to line 2 about the drum pad and the drum set. Sure, man, you know, I have the luxury right now, you know, instead of me practicing on a drum pad, I can practice on a drum set, normally the snare drum. But now I don't live alone, I have a family. You know, and if I want to practice 2 o'clock in the morning, start playing Miles Smiles on the drum set at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to have some problems with the family. Okay? Or if you live in an apartment, and you start blowing out like that at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're going to have the cops knocking on your door. That's one thing about a drum pad that's going to save you. Now, a drum pad is something that it's a convenience we have. You know, you don't have a sax player walking around with just a mouthpiece and a reed and playing with his armature, you know, that kind of thing. We have a drum pad, which is a substitution for a snare drum. Now, I played on many, many different drum pads in my lifetime, and I came across this particular drum pad. This particular drum pad is made by Off-World Percussion. And if I have underneath levers, so I take it off, I give an airspace in the bottom. And what that does, that gives me a very louder sound, okay? If I took the levers off and played it like here, I'd get that kind of sound, all right? Now, that's one of the drum pads that I use, which is produced by Off-World Percussion. As a matter of fact, they are on Facebook, okay? And they have their official website. And the first guy that I got from them, oh, dude, this thing is murder, is the Invader. It's made by the same company. It's just a black surface. It's harder. And it sounds pretty dull like that. It's a good drum pad. It gives you the feel of a drum. The other drum pad, the Quiet Tone I use, has a regular drum head on it. It feels good. Okay, then I've used the Real Feel and the Remo drum pads and the Ludwig drum pads and the homemade drum pads. This is what I prefer, this pad right here. I'm not selling drum pads. What I'm doing is I'm telling you what I like. You should go out to the market. There's a lot of different drum pads out there, and you use the ones you like. I like this one. Okay? Where's this, Pierre? Where you Pierre, you said, plus the drum pad is so portable you can take it any place. We all know who Jim Chapin is, correct? Let me just give you an example about what you just said about portable. You could take it anywhere. Jim Chapin used to walk around NAMM. NAMM is the National Association of Musical Merchants, which is done once a year in California. And he would walk all around NAMM with a pair of drumsticks and a real feel drum pad. And of course, you know, young drummers say, hey, that's Jim Chapin. And Jim Chapin was more than willing to explain or to try to help somebody. Great man. Okay? And he also did that at PAS. That's how portable it is. But my thing about the drum pad is, you know, to play eighth note vamps for a half hour on a drum pad, okay, and it's repetition. And, you know, nobody wants to hear you playing on your snare drum eighth notes for 10 minutes. You drive them crazy if they're not drummers. Plus, you work out what you're trying to do. You're doing a motion. I mean, I could eardrum like this, but it's not the same thing. I'm hitting and going up. A drum pad is another, it's in addition to your equipment. It's a helper. It's a practice pad. Okay, here I go, flip it out again and getting away from the lesson. I apologize. Well, why I have some members here, let me ask a few questions here. I'm still going to be doing 8 lessons a week, the 1 and 7, not a problem, okay? I do want to, I'm still going to do beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I think that I should have all my advanced lessons on my site. It's because it's a paid-for site. My beginner and intermediate lessons I think I should have on YouTube. Drum pad things, drum set applications. Okay, what do you guys think about that? And this morning I was in contact with Mark Walker. I got a confirmation. On a date, June the 6th, this is Saturday, at 3 p.m. Mark Walker will be in the studio doing a lesson. Okay? And I'm going to post it on Facebook, and I'm going to put a CD on with him playing a big band. Now, a little bit about the background of Mark Walker. Mark Walker will give you some great information. He's a very knowledgeable musician and a great player. He really is. And he's a professor at Berklee College of Music. And he has his publication from Hal Leonard. And that's another thing, guys. Within the next month or two, you can go to my page and order all Hal Leonard's drum books, or you could order Hudson Music drum books, or my books, or all of Alfred's drum books. I might be selling sticks. I might be selling drum heads. I'm negotiating. So I want to make my site a go-to site for drummers. The word will get around. Okay? I advertised on Facebook, okay, in the drumming groups. Attention all Facebook members. You want to come to this? You're entitled to register. Just email me, and I'll put you on the mailing list, and that's what I'm going to do. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. That's why I'm pretty exhausted, and I have to start practicing. I really do. I'm not a very good example because I'm letting everything, you know, carry me away. So let's get back to the lesson. The first one was the single paradiddle with the accent, or the alternating paradiddle, with the accent on the first beat of the 16ths. 1, E, and the. 2, E, and the. 3, E, and the. 4, E, and the. Simple. Do we understand? That's the basic paradiddle. Down, up, down. Now when I do that slow, I'm listening. That downstroke is consistent to nail the accent. The upstroke and the taps are consistent in sound. Now I move to the second one. Second line. All right. All right, now the second line, we have the accent shifting over to the second note of the paradiddle. All right, but it's on the E of 1, the E of 2, the E of 3, and the E of 4. Now, if I take this line separate, not from line 1 into line 2, and I just play line 2 by itself, my sticking position is going to change in my starting position. My first stroke is going to be, my right hand is going to have to start here. My left hand is going to have to be here because that's the first accent. So I'm going to have 1, E. And now watch, the comes up. 2, E. And the. 3, E. And the. 4, E. And the. 1, E. And the. 2, E. And the. So on and so forth. Now guys, listen. Being on a computer like this, yeah, everybody's yesing me to death. So a couple years back, I had a student who thought he was doing good, and so did I. I thought he was doing good. I asked him, do you understand the level system? Do you understand how to do the paradiddle? You know it's down, up, tap, tap? He goes, yeah, I got it going on, man. I said, okay, do me a favor. Make me a video and send it to me of you doing a single paradiddle. Here's what I get back. He's starting here. He lifts the stick, comes down, lifts, now what do you guys think of that demonstration I just did? Is that what I teach? Is that necessary? Is that a waste of time? Talk to me, guys. I'll do it again. He starts here and he goes up and he comes down. Tap, tap, tap. And then he comes up and he goes down. Then he comes up. You see what he's doing and what's wrong? And it's not wrong. He's playing the paradiddle, but he's not going to go anywhere with it. That is not what occurs when you're up tempo, you know. That doesn't occur. It's down, up, tap, tap. It's essential. If you slow it down, dissect it, okay, you dissect it and see what occurs, work on it, and travel it up the board, man. You're going to get it going on. So the second one, the accent is on the E, so I'm starting here. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and Now, I just accomplished more with doing it for that one time, that slow, okay, than if I tried it like this. That's not accomplishing anything. What that is doing is reinforcing bad habits. Well, the mirror is good, Jim. That's excellent. A video is better. Okay? When I went to Joe Morello, that's what he had on the wall, mirrors. You can see the sticks. One stick will be here. You go, aha! It'll get you. The mirror's not lying. It's there, and it sounds not lying. Okay, let's go to the third one. The third guy, you have two accents now, and the sticking reverses itself. This is actually line 7 of the stick control book. The accents now are going to be on the doubles. So what do I do here? Uh-oh, 2 right-hand accents. Oh my goodness gracious. So I'm starting here. My first stroke's going to have to be what, Jimmy? Tell me what it's going to be. Nobody else answered that. Jimmy answered. What's the first one going to be? Line 3. Downstroke, upstroke, or tap? What? Win the $5,000 door prize. Let's go. Tell me, Jim, what is the first stroke going to be? Is it going to be a tap, a downstroke, an upstroke, or a free stroke, or what is it going to be? Get it right or you wash my car. Just kidding. Come on, Jim. You're taking too long. Don't tell me you had to go to the bit. That's very good. You're wrong. Why are you wrong? You said a downstroke. So in order to have a downstroke, I have to be up here. It's up, right? So if I come down, what am I going to do with the next one? Come back up again? We just talked about what the other student did. He answered, it's not a downstroke. And stop sticking up for him, Pierre. Okay, the first stroke has to be a free stroke. I'm in this position, I start. It's a free stroke. Why? Because my next guy is an accent. Got it? Free stroke, down, up, tap. Free stroke, down, up, tap. Get it, Jim? You get it, Pierre? What's an upstroke? No, it's not an upstroke. It's a free stroke. Ingadabanga. Come on, guys. I have 2 right-hand accents. I'm not going to go, how can I get a upstroke? That's not an accent. That's to get in position for an accent. I hit number 3, the 2 right-hand accents. It's a free stroke. Why is it a free stroke? Because now I'm in position to nail the up-and-coming accent. So now, my starting position, these pop-ups drive me crazy. I'm not getting on you, Jimmy. I just want you to get it right. Yeah, you were, Pierre. All right. You're starting here. I'm not putting anybody on the spot. You're learning. And the beauty about learning is by making mistakes. And when you make a mistake, it's to correct it. And by you correcting it, make sure you don't make the same mistake twice. See, a professional or a seasoned drummer will make more mistakes in 1 hour than an intermediate student will make all a month. Because he's trying to improve himself. Well, you're getting it right, Jim. 2 right-hand accents in a row. I can't start here, and I can't go down, because if I go down, yes, I'm making the accent, but I'm leaving my stick down here to not be in position for the up-and-coming accent. So I'm starting in this position, okay? Now, the first right, and if you want to write this down underneath, the next time I should do this for you guys, you got to be on top of the levels. I'm going to do a whole level system thing tonight. Okay, right hand, free stroke. I'm in position to nail the next right hand accent without doing nothing. Just I threw the stick down, I'm in position. So that would be E, would have to be a downstroke. Because my next right is going to be a tap. Now, I have a left. That left has to come up. Why does it come up? Because I have 2 up-and-coming left-hand accents. E and. I'm in position now to hit 2E. Duh is a tap. Let me do that again. Under the count of 1, free stroke. Under the count of E, downstroke. Under the count of and an upstroke. At the count of duh, a tap. Did you guys write that down? Yeah, the free stroke is actually, if you start here, That's your starting position. And if I throw a free stroke down from here, that's my ending position is my starting position. That's the first lesson you learn in Joe Morello's Master Studies. Line 1. Your starting position is your ending position. It's a good training vehicle. But anyway, let's go back to this. I start here. 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 3, E, and the 4, E, and the. Got it? Who's I see? I see, thanks. Okay, well, I'm going over this time here, and I don't mind spending more time. But, it does get exhausting, trust me. So what we're going to do we all have the Master Studies? Joe Morello's Master Studies. How many guys have it and how many guys don't have it? See, these are the books that you can purchase from my site in the next month or so if you don't have them. Okay? How many guys here have, you got it, Randy? All right. How about Dennis, Jimmy, Pierre? Do you have Master Studies 1? You have it, okay. Randy has it. Dennis? Yeah, you told me you have it, Randy. Uh-oh, from Rome. Put the mask on. No, okay, only kidding. How are you? You don't need the second one. You have the first one first. Okay, let me just hold on a minute. Pedro, I'm sorry to hear all that things that's going on in Italy. Okay? Hope things become better. But welcome. Everybody be kind to Barbero, right? Thank you, Jim. Okay. Hold on. Let me put the mic back in place. And then we're going to go on this one tonight. All right? I'm going to introduce you to it right now before I leave you, gentlemen. Barbero, is that how you pronounce your name? Batterero? I'm sorry I can't pronounce that, okay? But you're welcome to come to the lessons anytime. Get on my mailing list. Jim K there, put my mailing list down. Email me, I'll add you to my mailing list. You will get an agenda and a time and location and PDFs for where the lessons will be. And right at the moment, for at least the next 2-3 months, they're going to be free. So take advantage of that. Okay, now, let me get Mr. Joe Morello. Master Studies. The original copy, or the first book, the first edition, was out and it had a red cover. They changed this. I think the red cover actually made it look nicer, I think. But it's a matter of, it don't really matter. It's what's inside the book. Now, there is all this is, and he even tells you, and who helped him do this was Steve Forrester. Steve Forrester was involved with Master Studies. Now, when I first started with Joe, this book wasn't even, it wasn't out on the market. It was taught. That's how Joe teaches. And all it is an extension, all right, of Stick Control book. Now, Anybody here familiar with Accents and Rebounds? Accents and Rebounds is a good book by George Lawrence Stone. All kinds of accents all over the place. An expansion or an extension of Stick Control book. And I worked diligently from that book. But once I got my hands on this one, I totally neglected Accents and Rebounds. I'll tell you what, though, next time Alan Herman does a lesson here, he will do Accents and Rebounds. That is his forte. I mean, that guy knows that book like I have never seen anybody else. The guy's brilliant. So, open up the book. Let's go to page 7. Now, I do have a video of 1 through 5, I think at 2:08. It's on YouTube. If you put it in, the search, Matt Patella, Master Studies, so on and so forth, or it'll come up. But anyway, let's talk about it, and we just mentioned it before. Your starting position is your ending position, or your ending position is your starting position. This is the first thing he makes you aware of. But look at the sticking patterns. You have a partial of line 6 and a partial of line 13. Ha! Nice going, man. But see, that's the extension. It's an extension of Stick Control book. Now you look at, we're not going to play it in cut time. We're going to do eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You look at the first 2 notes, 1 and. They're 2 accented notes. One's a right-hand accent, one's a left-hand accent. So what do I do here? Where's my start? I'm not going to start here. I'm not going to start here, but I am going to start here. And why? Okay, the first stroke is a right-hand accent. So I'm going to nail that accent from this point. However, my next right, after I hit that first right accent, is a tap. So I have to leave it where? Down. So it's 1. Okay, now, my next stroke is a left-hand accent. And I look for my up-and-coming next left, it's an accent. So I'm going to have to hit that left as a free stroke. It has to come right back to be in position to hit the up-and-coming left-hand accent. So I have and. Now 2 is a tap. And is a tap. 3 and 4, up. Now I'm in position to do the same thing. That's where I started. Therefore, my ending position is my starting position. Or my starting position is actually the ending position. You gentlemen see that? If you religiously do 1 through 5 every day for 15 minutes, like this. Now I'm going to take them the way Joe Morello was teaching some students. That is the quarter note. I'm going to play each note as a quarter note. So I know what I'm doing and I get feeling. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Up we go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play them as quarter notes for a little bit. And as slow as you possibly can grab hold of it or stand. You will definitely, the more you play this, the more comfortable you're going to get, the more it's going to flow and then flow. And before you know it, you'll be here. Come on, left hand. Ah! That left hand is not moving. And I'm working on it. It's an injury there, Barbero. All right, listen, guys, it's almost 1:45. Mercy. I will be back tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Barbero, come to the lesson. Here's the web address. Let me put it down fully. That's where we will be. And usually, you're usually there at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if there's a problem with this reception or something, we're either here or we'll be back here. So either or. If we're not there, come back here. We will be here. And you're most definitely welcome. Barbero, how long have you been playing, sir? And what kind of music do you play? And you have 1972 beats per minute. Mercy, you must be a speed demon. Hey, Randy, did you understand what I did with the levels there? We're going to continue on it tonight. Dennis? Pierre? Pierre, you don't have that. I could send you a sheet of the first 5 exercises. If do you have the book, Pierre? How are you there? What do you mean with the virus? It started to spread, and everybody's panicking. I know that you're like you're most of Italy's at a standstill. It's a closed down, man. But hey, oh, that's your day of birth, huh? Okay. Well, what's the BPM beats per minute? Okay. All right, but I'm going to do the whole, Barbero, you have the sheet from Master Studies. You have the book. If you don't have the book, I could email you the first 5 lines, because that's what we're going to be working on tonight. And I'm going to continue tonight on the drum pad, but I'm going to start a whole new agenda. All right, from now on. 2 lessons on the drum pad, and the other 6 lessons on the drum set. Whatever, Pierre. I just don't want to see anybody catch that. But man, it's happened. The people, especially, well, all over, I guess. You go to the shop, right? You go to the Walmart. You go buy some food. All the shelves are empty, man. People are in a panic. All right, Pierre, you want me to send you the files on that? And Barbero, you want me to send you the files on the first 5? If so, you have my email there. Jim was kind enough to put it. mattpatella1001@gmail.com. All you need to do is email me, and I'll send it to you. Okay, with all that being said, hopefully our lessons are getting better. And hopefully my left hand will be getting better. I know it's everywhere. The basketball teams closed down. The schools are closing down. Everything's getting crazy. And you could, throw torpedoes back at China for doing this shit. All right, I'm going to sign off. And I will be back tonight, 7 p.m. at a different location, Barbero. That's mattpatellalivelessons.com. You email me, I'll send you the information, okay? And if you want to continue, I'll tell you which books you should get or you should have for it to be fruitful for you. Okay? I'm still waiting. I'll tell you what, if you don't get the code by at least the next couple of days, I will personally, all right, order you a book from Alfred, the level system. Okay? Jimmy, you didn't get anything, did you? Randy, you got a book. All the fun guys left, like Joe Shield and the Man in Black. We got to inject some life into these lessons. Okay, I'll send you the drag paradiddle, the flam paradiddle, and the 3-stroke rough and 4-stroke rough paradiddle. You will, Dennis. Dennis, here's what's going on. I was speaking to Rob Wallace. Oh, about an hour and a half. Oh, well, you should get the book, man. I had somebody on Facebook who purchased a stick control formula book. That's like $45. It took him to get it 2 weeks from the time I went to the post office. I don't know why, but he got it today. He was in a panic mode, but he got it today because he showed me a picture. Now, where do you buy a book and you get a drum teacher with it? You'll get it, believe me. Randy, you'll get the book. Dennis, like I said, I was talking to Rob Wallace about a lot of different things, and I said the guys are a little bit confused. You go, here's what he said you do. I don't have the code. He's going to send me the code. Or when you do become a member, he's going to explain the instructions. Go to the site, hudsonmusic.com. Become a member. It doesn't cost anything. All you come becoming a member, that you get the email from them. It's like a newsletter. But then you're a member. So once you go back, you log in, and then you go to the Rick Lathan book, and you're going to buy it. Then you'll need the code. When you get that, when he gives it to me, I will give it to you. Okay? I'm not worried about it. No, it's not unavailable. The site is not, the Hudson. I'll tell you what, guys. If you're having a problem with it, I'll buy the book for you and send it to you. Okay? That's not a problem. Randy, I'm not worried about it. You will get it. I got a notice from the post office. You know, Bob Waldman, he's a really nice guy, very humble. He's at every single lesson except Thursday nights. And today he wasn't feeling well. But he's every lesson, and he's extremely helpful like Jim is, okay? And all you guys, really. I mean, Jimmy's on Facebook, building me up, which I appreciate. And so is Bob. And there's a couple other guys that come to the site you don't know because they're incognito. They're shy to come into the chat, but they do build me up. So what I did is I did something special for Rob. I sent him 2 books, a disc, and a few other things, posters, flyers, and a pair of sticks. I thought that was pretty nice of me because he's a really nice guy. He's really passionate. I get 4 or 5 emails from him a day, and I don't mind that. I enjoy that, to be helpful. Okay? I get a notice from the post office because there's a certain standard rate when you mail somebody in the United States a book. It's the same price, whether it's next door neighbor or somebody in Sacramento, California. It's the same price. So they told me, they warned me, don't do that again, or we're going to come and get you. Huh. But anyway, who's this? Pierre? It's not a good. I'm trying to make all my lessons a high standard. I'm trying to put up the bar a little bit, raise the bar. And believe me, once I get a little bit more organized, this every day. I mean, I'm up early in the morning, man. I'm in the studio 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'm not dressed. I'm in my shorts and I'm having a cup of coffee, and I'm answering my email and seeing what I have to do today. Talking to this person on the phone. Like today, man, I had to call B&H, which is it's just in New York City. They carry everything with cameras and cables and computers and everything. And I had to order some cables, so that took a time. And then I was talking to Mark Walker, and we came up with a date. Now I got all his companies I got to call and get some perks so I can get him paid, all that good stuff. So it's a lot of work. And I'm trying to finish the book, the syncopation formulas, or the syncopation journey. I'm trying to do that. And then I take my daughter to basketball. Pick her up. My son, he's older now. He drives himself. He goes to karate. And my wife, she's a good woman, a good wife, good mommy. And she's always asking me, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? You know how that is, She's a really great woman. But anyway, what's $45? What's that? $45, right. Wait a minute, let me straighten this out. Barbero, first off, you live in Rome. So you cannot get, okay, the book. You can if you want to pay for the shipping. The shipping from the United States to Rome is $22.50. All right? Now, add that onto the 45, you're talking a big time dollar here for a book. What's available for people who use who can't get the book are PDFs. You'll get 180 or 88 pages without any explanation, though, okay, of the stick control book formulas. And the reason why there's no explanation is because that's the book or the PDFs that come with a drum teacher, and that drum teacher being me. So I discussed this last night about it was a networking move, whereas if there's no explanation, the only way you could really understand what it's about, you could understand what it's about if you read some, but the benefit all the way for the book is you have to come and see me on my lessons and ask questions. So if you want to buy the PDFs, Barbero, you just go to my PayPal account, put $25 in there, and you will get them in the mail. You have to print them out, 180 or 188 pages. That's the stick control formulas. Yeah, well, they're educational books, and that's what I told them. All right, let me read what Pierre says. Matt, we love you, man. We know you're not trying to monetize yourself like a lot of others do because you're old school, and you're sticking to that. You can make a lot of money if you wanted to. Well, it's not a matter of making money. Yeah, it's nice to make money and have money. That's a nice thing. But you have to be true to who you are. And if you are, eventually that truth shines. Eventually, I don't want to badmouth nobody, but, if you're going to be a jive-ass person, a jive-ass teacher, eventually they're going to find that out and they're going to be pissed. But if you stay true to who you are, and do what you think is the right thing to do, people will understand that and respect that. Anyway, let me go. I'm like an old lady today. I'm talking too much. Guys, have a great rest of the day. And practice until tonight. Barbero, don't forget to email me, please, so I can send you the PDFs of the Morello book. Dennis, you don't have the book? Dennis, do you have the Joe Morello book? Calling Dennis. No, you get them in the email as PDFs, Pierre. You get them as PDFs, and you print them out from your printer. All right, I'm going to send Pierre. I'm going to send you the files. I mean the Joe Morello, and the same thing with you, Barbero. Now remember, there's a difference in time. You're in Europe. In Italy, we're in the U.S. I think there's a 5-hour difference. Well, thanks for you trying to help. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, it's time for me to say good afternoon. See you tonight.